Oh, now we are going to play contradanza titled Los Ojos de Pepa. In English, Pepa's Eye.
The sound go through here instead, if you like.
By the great Manuel Saumeyer. One, two, 1, 2, 3, go. Now is the time to play something very folkloric on the Cuban way. We are going to play a song titled Bruca Maniwa, written by one of the best musicians ever, one of the best Cuban musicians, the one and only Arsenio Rodríguez. Voy a empezar yo. Vamos a cambiar
señor.
Sí, señor, está listo bien. Zapateo, ¿no? Yes.
My, Tres Mulattos. Oh, a lot of Latin jazz going on today. As you know, well, I'm a big fan of straight ahead jazz myself. However, a little Latin jazz never stopped me from enjoying some good sounds. Right now, I want to bring to you an outstanding artist right from our own Bay Area. Akili Simba. You're going to see some of the most beautiful, outstanding collection with thought-provoking sight that you are going to say, wow. If you don't know him, when you see this collection, you will know him. His interview is done by Chief Curator Bamidele Dimerson. So sit back and enjoy. I'm sure you're going to enjoy this artist collection.
That's it. Okay, good morning. How are you?
Very well. How about yourself?
I'm fine, thank you. There seems to be a light shining. We thought we had moved this desk over far enough, but okay. Oh, no, I have to keep on my glasses. Okay. Yeah. I'm fine. Thank you, Sean. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Okay. Well, good morning. I'm glad that you're here. And what I want us to do is to talk a little bit about yourself and your works. I'm going to start off by asking, all of this stuff will be edited out, but I'm going to start out by asking you, by announcing that we're going to have your exhibition here, and that we're inviting everybody to please tune in and to see the virtual exhibition.
Yes.
And I'm going to probably start asking you about your name.
Right.
And what does that mean? Where you're from, and how long you have been involved in the creative process and so forth. And then, do you have the slides in the order that they appear in the catalog?
I do.
Okay, very good. We have a mock-up to send to Tom Downs, our person who does the printing for AAMLO.
Got it.
And so we should be having that very soon. We have gone through this catalog umpteen times and always found a little something, because when you're printing, you change one thing and then something else is thrown off or is askew. But let me take this off. Okay. Okay, well, if you're ready to start, we'll get started.
All right. Yes, I am ready whenever you are. Actually, hold on, I'm gonna do one more thing real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
Okay, I don't want anyone to mysteriously think what
Oh
the
my
smoke.
God, yeah, I know, right?
If we're on fire or something. Okay. Well, good. I'm going to say good afternoon because we're going to this will air in the afternoon. Well, good afternoon, and
Good
welcome
afternoon.
thank you for being here. Welcome to another component of Soiree AAMLO, and we are pleased to have with us the artist Akili Simba, who is an Oakland-based artist and who has an exhibition at the museum that you can view virtually, and it's titled Rejuvenate, Images for Healing and Renewal by Akili Simba. And so, Akili, thank you for being with us today. Let me start out by asking you, where are you from?
I'm originally from Nashville, Tennessee, Southern boy.
Okay, and so you've relocated to the West Coast. How long ago?
It was about 3 years ago that I came out
Okay,
here. Yes.
well, very good. And were you involved in visual arts before you came to California?
Before, yes. I guess at the earliest point, it started off with clothing,
Hmm.
and pretty much doing different paintings and customizing clothes for friends and myself. And then branched into doing like visual work through graphic design and computers and doing flyers and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, then we are pleased to have your exhibition Rejuvenate with us. And let me ask you, so before we get into the slides, let me ask you about your name. Akili, what does that mean? And Simba, what does that mean?
So both is Kiswahili. So it was a name that resonated with me. Akili meaning brains or intelligent, and then Simba meaning lion, or also could mean strength. And I think Sean, I believe, but lion personally for me, representing just the hair that it has been with me throughout some years. And then Akili for intelligence. I've just been known to just be that bookworm type of guy, and just be an intelligent person, if you will. But it's just like I said, it was just a name that resonated with me.
Okay, well, very good. And do you have a copy of your poem with you?
I can read it if you like.
Okay, at some point we would want you to do that.
Sure.
And so I think that the poem really offers maybe perhaps an introduction.
Mm-hmm.
If you can read that, Rejuvenate, Healing Mental Regalia.
Sure. Take the world off your shoulders. African antiquity is older than colonialism. Kings, queens, high priests, and nobles were our standards. Scientists, physicians, mathematicians, astronomers educated us. Furthermore, architects built monumental structures, farmers cultivated nourishment, and herbalists prepared medicines prayed over by diviners. We thrived into developed civilizations, providing cultural contributions to the world. Relax your battered back. The strain of birthing a nation under whip and chain has left our shoulders tense like brick, hands calloused from picking exports, minds shattered from split identity. Born African, taught white, created black. A color stained with negative connotations in a world where humanity seems non-existent and existing is a criminal offense. Rest your fatigued feet. The March for Equality has been a long, strenuous trudge against xenophobic and racial discrimination. Nevertheless, our resilience spawns Wall Streets, renaissances, and powerful civil movements. Collectively, our diversity is a spectrum with a bevy of knowledge and masterful skill. Through moments of unification, milestones are achieved. You're born into this world divine. Your body is built as a temple, mind grows like a garden, and spirit radiates as light. Life being as fruitful as you make it, you're capable. Adorn your mind with regal thoughts. Construct a mental throne to reflect on ancestral antiquity. Establish it as a space for regeneration, an everlasting reservoir of energy, fueling self-love.
Fueling self-love. So this exhibition really encourages self-love, particularly for peoples of the African diaspora, but certainly it could be applied to those of the African continent. But for those in the African diaspora, self-love. Let's start with let's start with some images. And I see that there's one in the background of you. This is Queen's Day, I think is the title. So can you tell us, or if you can bring the slide up of that or the screen share, you can. Okay, and is that the largest that you can make it?
At the moment, yes. Is it too small?
No. It takes up about maybe 1/4 of the screen, and I just wanted to make sure that our viewers could. Okay. Let's talk about this one, Queen's Day.
Okay. So Queen's Day is about women's appreciation. I find I don't believe there's any being more important than the woman, the female person. Like, and I feel that celebrating her is vital because we cannot thrive without her. And I don't think we have celebrated our female components enough. And just as I'll even say, just as men, we even have to recognize our own female components and just our own side of showing empathy, showing care, showing some real unconditional love. And like I said, this is a moment where the community is really coming out to celebrate one woman as a queen. She may not necessarily be the queen of this village, of these people, but she can even be more so just someone they want to represent. This is a passage that, you know, passes along to each of the women. Like, I feel like this is something when women look at themselves as queens, and that's the time that we're in of them being queens and being recognized as that. I just find that more important now to continue to promote that. Some women don't feel that they belong in that seat, or they deserve to have that title, but they certainly do. A lot of them just may need, those that don't believe just need the reinforcement. It is not that they are not queens, you know? And so, yeah, it's about appreciation here.
And let me ask you, in the background, and particularly along the middle register of the painting, we see people dancing and drumming. Yeah. And so there is a celebration that is obviously taking place here. And so celebrating the Queen. One of the things that I've noticed is that in your works of art, one cannot help but appreciate the extolling of Black phenotype, how it is that we look. There is the widely opened eyes, the broad nose, and the full lips. And I appreciate that in your work, and of course, anyone who's depicting African peoples of Africa or the African diaspora. have full range to do so. But I appreciate the fact that you have specifically, while we have a variation in phenotype, you particularly focus on these physical attributes. What is the next image that you have to share with us?
So the next one starts leading into the chromatic portraits.
Okay, the chromatic portraits. And
the beautiful people.
yes, and this particular one is Zainab and Kareem. Tell us about Zainab and Kareem.
So these two in particular are in conversation, having small talk, creating dialogue, finding some type of common ground. This is just us as African peoples here trying to get to know one another, trying to build a bridge. I feel like that's one of the first steps to us getting to the place where we want to be. Our life is better together, and we are the majority. We just need to get to know one another. A lot of times, just by subtle differences that we may have, we can look at each other as if we're foreign, or as if there's no possible chance that we'll find something to resonate with, to believe in, to focus on, to have some, like I said, some type of common ground. So these two are literally finding a place to sit and seeing what can come of just conversation. It's an open door.
Okay.
And it's also a moment of the chairs are kind of, missing, blank. It's just them, but they're still finding a way to create that place, at the table, if you will, or just a place to, like I said, have some type of common ground made.
Mm-hmm. And so what's interesting here are the primary colors. There's red and there's blue, and then there's the ochre or the yellow. Is there any reason or is there any symbolism to the color choices here?
Most times it's just my color palette. Especially with when you're saying primary colors, it will be a choice, some choice of a red, some choice of probably the ultramarine or indigo blue, and like you're saying, that yellow ochre is something I like to use a lot. But it's just bringing out our earth tones, and the background was just a way to solidify them. I wanted them to be the focal point. Mm-hmm. I also wanted one to be, I say most of the choices as far as the color of the background would be just, I wanted one to be hot and one to be cooler. Definitely want the female to have a resonating hot background, and then the male to have a stronger, cooler background. And just them two contrast, just being on two different spectrums. But like I said, they're still able to coexist because within themselves, they have some similarities as far as their color. Mm-hmm. Their backgrounds may be different.
Right. Okay. And in the works called Abdelu, Mosi, and Sana, these have black backgrounds, and of course the ochre is present, the blue green and the reds again in this in these images, but again this idea of focusing on phenotypic characteristics, the physical characteristics, again the widely opened eyes. We get an impression that people know what's going on, or they are attempting to know what's going on. They are really focusing, they are seeing. And of course, the full lips and the broad noses again. And so um, this is important when we consider facets of beauty. And, you know, when we consider that these are portraits of beautiful, chromatic portraits of beautiful people, we can gain some sense of appreciation of that. But you also have a set of images that you call chromatic portraits.
Mm-hmm. So,
and I love this page. And you have several. This is these are bronze tinted or bronze on copper, but you have some that are done with other backgrounds as well. What was your focus here?
So one, the main focus is what you were bringing up, is really focusing in on the phenotypes, just the features, because like you're saying, that is, that's what we're born with. And for us to be comfortable with that, I find extremely powerful. We're in a time where it's normal and very easy for you to change yourself digitally and physically. And it's more accepted if you change yourself and, you know, in some of these ways. But like I said, for you to be okay with the oversized nose or the eyes that are a little too wide, or the nose or the lips that are full, I just find that extremely powerful for you to be able to walk. Even if you did want to do, if we're thinking like a makeup situation, which can kind of change the way your face looks. If you want to do that, it's okay. But I just want you to find power in both sides of it, because there are some people who don't find power in their natural side. And these people here, anytime I'm depicting any of us, I always try to depict us in our most natural self. If not, they can get all the way to our most indigenous self. But yes, these people are awake or awakening. They are knowing, you know, and they are learning. But they're people, they're us. But they're us as, you know, very comfortable within themselves.
And in the book by the Martinican psychiatrist Frantz Fanon, he speaks about the many times Black people, this is not a direct quote, but experience what he calls an inferiority of the epidermalization of inferiority. And so we have some issue with how we physically appear. And so we go through all kinds of changes on that. Sometimes we dye our hair, we weave, we wear wigs. And again, there's nothing necessarily wrong with that. But but if we feel inferior the way we look, that's an issue. And there is a sociologist by the name of Hoytink who speaks of somatic norm image. And people often, when they feel at a sense of dis-ease with their physical appearance, they will undergo surgical reconstruction. Sometimes they will, now you can get contact lenses that are a different color to make your eyes different. You can apply creams to lighten your skin, and there are all of these things that are going on that are part of the world in which we live. But again, going back to your poem, your works encourage self-love. And that's something that I appreciate very much. These are small paintings that are about 4 inches square.
Yes.
And about how many of these have you done so far?
So far, it's been, well, I put out about I put out 100 for sure, and then there's definitely about 100 or so more ready to go. But I don't know. These are it's a constant thing because they're always in flux, or either they're a lot of times they're made while I'm making something else, and that's how sometimes a lot of the backgrounds or a lot of the different shapes of these different figures end up turning out. But yeah, like you're saying, it's all about self-love here, and I find that if it can be represented a bunch of times, yeah, like I said, we look great in a group together. You know, that's what that's about. That's unity right there. Instead of just seeing it in one painting, let's see it in about 100, 200, 300 different, small different representations of us.
Yes.
No matter how it, yeah, go ahead.
And I've noticed that many of your figures have halos, if you will.
We're angels. That's what I'm saying. We resonate with our. There's people who who are resonating with their spiritual selves. We do have that connection. There are those, with their halos on. We don't see them, but they just always seem to be, quite wise about their decisions and their making, or even just their appearance.
Well, earlier you showed an image of Kareem. You showed the image of Queen Day, and perhaps in some ways I see as a compliment to that the figure that's sometimes called Nature Walk or Neto Walk.
Yeah.
And in this, in each case, we see people who are very comfortable with wearing traditional attire, and so in some respects, that is a not only are they comfortable with that, but one would assume that they are comfortable with traditional modes of life and culture. But in this case, we see this figure with a staff in hand, and so I would often think of this is perhaps a staff of office. Not only something that he can use to ambulate, but more specifically, it is a symbol of his office. And interestingly, in the background, there is a big cat and a serpent. Explain those symbols to us.
Okay, so the lion back there and the serpent, mainly the lion for sure. So I did abbreviate it NTR as a reference to the metal netter, or just how the ancient Egyptian language would use hieroglyphics and just symbolism to depict their words. And so I found that very interesting, actually, and I wanted to utilize that instead of having a sun back there. I know a lion is also a representation of that, and I found that to be very strong. As that rising sun. The serpent is the symbolism of life, electricity, but really just also being aware. That's why he has that staff. He is a wanderer. He is someone who is of office in a sense where he's almost like a griot type of person, and he's able to navigate those tall grasses. He And yes, he is very comfortable within himself, not as just a Black person, but as an African person, like you're saying, going back to what is very traditional, because that connection has to be made. It can't be something left behind, because that is where that's where a lot of our beginnings lie. And what was stripped from us, I'll say. So we don't know what we're missing out on. Like we walk within these symbols all the time. Just going outdoors, going within the wilderness, you walk with these, these ancient energies, being within these plants, these trees, and the waters, and the sun, and the moon, and everything else. But we don't really recognize it. We just kind of take it for what it is. Something that was a geography lesson a long time ago. But this is, these are tools that we use that's been given to us naturally, and things that have been built off civilization. So yes, there's a reason. Yeah, he's very comfortable in his natural self.
When we think about this as a complement to Queen's Day, we think of the complementarity of male and female, as you did with Zainab and Kareem. Mm-hmm. And that theme of complementarity and communication between male and female continues on in two other works, The Moment and Living Room. Can you share those with us?
So we can do this one first.
Okay.
As far as the male female, yes, it's duality. That's something else I'm always about. It's love for self, but love for self as that dual person. And so in the moment speaks on us. Speaks on young love, and how enwrapped you can be when something is so fresh and so new, and it's that an experience that just hasn't been charted before, and nothing else can be seen but that other person. They literally have their eyes coming out their head, ready to meet each other. And so, but what I wanted is just to talk about the fact that this type of love can be really is highly enhanced, and that's like a give and take where for the child, for this young couple, it's very, very much real, but a lot of times for the parent, it's just for the moment. But I like the idea, or how powerful that feeling can be of when something is that fresh and that new, and how you want to do everything or be all about it and spend all the moments and times with it. And I want us to have that like teenage love for ourselves, and for the others in our community. Like I can't, we always find some type of way to fall in love with ourselves, because I believe if we can do that, if we can keep that new, fresh love, then this Black brilliance that's surging, it won't die off, or it won't get stale or get old or get played or oversaturated. We're continuing to grow within this market and really making a stand within this world, and I don't want it to be a trend. Just something, like I said, for the moment. Like we love it, it's amazing, everything looks good, everything we're modernizing, or in reclaiming, ourselves as the diaspora. But we're very good, or marketing and things, and society is very good about grabbing onto something and then moving on to something else. And so I find that this is like a Renaissance period, and so this can't be something that is tossed to the wayside. This is something that should be carried forward. And so I want the thing about this is to, yes, keep that young, fresh love, but don't let it turn into something, like I said, that's just for that moment. Then you move on to, that next person in, your high school or whatever,
Mm-hmm. And so we definitely see their eyes fixed on each other. They are holding hands, and they are in close proximity to each other. And so young love. But when we think of living room, that particular piece that you've created called Living Room, we see in the foreground, we see the conjugal pair, the husband, wife, but they are also parents. So we see
Yes.
a baby crawling in the background. There is a young child that's also dancing. They have a pet that occupies the space. But interestingly, their furnishings are essentially a couch.
Right.
And so all of this is going on, but they have sparse furnishings. Can you comment on the meaning or your intended meaning of this work?
So this is also young love, but you know, the young love that, you know, buds into a family. And I, you know, this is a situation that also is extremely new, but a different type of new. It's a more, it could be a more frightening or, you know, type of new. Because like I said, these two have a couple of kids to, you know, raise and take care of. But right now, you know, money is strapped, or all they could afford right now is the couch and maybe a rug and a TV off to the side. A lot went into, you know, just trying to get a home. That was their feat, is even having a home or just a space for these kids to live in. And then the next feat is for them is to, one, now they have to grow up themselves while growing together. They're young, still trying to get to know each other, still trying to get to know themselves, and now have to get to know and raise these two children. And so with this situation, it goes, you know, a couple of ways. And of course, a lot of these, especially with young love, it can, you know, these homes can become broken. But I want to mainly focus on the other side of it, because in this painting, or, you know, in this room, I can see, you know, resilience, persistence, and determination. You know, this is a couple that can make it happen regardless of what happens between these two. The life of the children will be preserved, and the life of the children will be abundant. You know, the mindset of a parent, you know, changes when a person becomes a parent. It's not something I know firsthand. It's just something I've seen. And this situation is something I've seen a lot, and I've seen, mindsets change where that responsibility, or that just that yearning of, I have to make this happen.
So that was just a snippet of the interview that we did with Bamadeli and the artist. There is another 35 minutes to it. However, we have another portion of our segment that we want to get to now. So I'm going to take and transfer you over to Vita Silva, and she is going to take you from there.
Hello, everyone. I'm back. I see that Bamadeli Dimerson was really breaking down Akila's collection for us. I even learned something about primary colors. Very interesting. You need to really see the entire interview and the beautiful virtual exhibit. AAMLO, because of the pandemic, most of our programming definitely has been virtual. We also have an additional virtual exhibit online. It's by Odin Mulata. And Odin Mulata is also from the Bay Area as well. So with both of these wonderful artists, there is really a lot of beautiful artwork that I'm sure you would enjoy. Right now, I want to make sure that Miss Dorell LaMon is with us. With our Zoom event being virtual, there are a lot of technical things that you encounter. However, we're gonna keep it rolling. So, Mr. Dorell.
Hi, happy Saturday.
Wow, Mr. Dorell, how are you?
Fabulous in this crazy, absolutely crazy IT day. I'm fabulous.
Yeah, I woke up and I was fabulous too. But you know what? This cyber out there, cyberspace is doing a number on the technology today, but that's okay. I am so glad to see you, Mr. Dorell.
And are you? Thank you so
much.
much.
Yes, you know, it's like, okay, we're just sitting here. I'm not really in my living room. I'm at AAMLO, the beautiful AAMLO. And I don't know if you can, you know, I'm a little afraid to kind of move around a little bit. I hope I don't lose anybody, but
right.
Yeah, if you can see some of the panels here of the museum and library, I am now in the gallery upstairs. And as you can see, there's a lot of information regarding Bay Area individuals. We have so many wonderful items here. Our collection, we have over 160 collections here. It's vaulted ceilings. I don't know whether you can see those, but that is, if you can see that, that's gold leaf wallpaper with turquoise. These are the African-American murals here, right over the staircase. This is the beautiful bronze and oak staircase. I hope you can see that as well. So with this exhibit, this is called Visions Toward Tomorrow. It is the history of Oakland, beginning with the 1890s to the 1900s. So we've been very, very busy here, keeping African-American culture and history alive. I hope you can see these huge banners here. These are the Coyer family. These are silk screen banners. All of these around here. Marco, am I focused? We're good? Is it focusing good, Marco? Okay. So now, the murals here, I hope you can see, it's a little dark over here. These are done by Arthur Matthews. Arthur Matthews, a very well-known artist, muralist from 1906. And we're the only ones that have the surviving murals from his collection. So you see that the institution has wonderful history and culture of African Americans. However, Arthur Matthews is not African American, but he is very well-known artist, not just in the Bay Area, but all over the world. Now, I hope you can see some of the names. This is a Carnegie building. We are a historical landmark. So what you're seeing is from 1906. So that gives you a little overview. I hope
You're muted, Vita. We can't hear you.
There you go. So now, this is the segment that I call Up Close and Personal. First, I want to apologize for the mask. Because we're here, Marco and my library assistant, Marco and Danielle, my librarian, we're all here together. So we have to practice social distance. So Marco's way on the other side, Danielle's downstairs, and I'm up here. So Miss Dorell, I know that we're going to really get into your collection, but before we do that, I want to do a segment with you that I normally do, and that is what I call up close and personal. I want the audience to know a little about Miss Dorell, not as the writer, but just as the girl, the lady, the woman. What do you like to do? What did you do during 2020 that relaxed you besides writing? We don't want to talk about your works yet. We want to talk about you. Now, I understand you did like to go to the Cheesecake Factory a lot. I remember that. So tell us a little bit about Miss Dorell, the lady.
As far as relaxation, I absolutely love Marvel. So movie time.
Yes.
Yeah, I love all of that. I love all of those superhero type of movies. So for me, relaxation is turn the telephone off, do not disturb me, sit back, watch movie after movie. Oh my gosh, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. I have to go to sleep. That's what I do.
Sound like me. Yes. Yes, indeed.
So that's what I did as far as relaxation, just chill out, watch my movies. And for me, relaxation, I believe that peace cannot come without a vertical relationship. And so therein lies my relationship with God. He's a part of my everyday, all day. And so if he's not in there, chaos can seep into the middle of the mix. So he's definitely a key part. Without him, I don't even want to think about how it would be, but I don't think it would be sane. I can tell you that.
Yes. Now, what is it? You know, I was reading a little bit about you. Of course, I've known you quite some time, but there's certain things I didn't know. And there's something I want to ask before I say this. I want to ask you: is there anything that you want to say to your audience that you normally would not say? Something that you, at this moment, would like the audience to know about you that you have never said before to an audience?
Well, typically, I try to stay away from audiences. Believe it or not, as high as I am on energy, I'm an introvert. So people think—
Introvert?
Exactly, I know. But anyway, it's true. It's really true. Even though it does not seem like it, I can be 100% there, and I could be 100% chameleon. I could be a monk, absolutely, and there would be no problem. So a lot of people don't realize that because of my energy level. Most people, they travel at 80%, I travel at 1,000%. So they can't really understand me being quiet. How do you do? Because COVID-19. So we have to work from home. So people are missing the office. I'm like, I'm cool. I don't need the office. So, but that is something that people don't realize or understand about me. And so I usually don't like to talk. So even with the poetry, I have a couple of friends that are not here today. One, his name is Dino, and another one, his name is Dennis. And then one of my brothers, Calvin. For years, they have been on me about sharing my poetry. 2020, August, I was like, okay. I have poetry that no one has ever heard because I prefer not to talk. I prefer to read it and say, oh my gosh, thank you, Lord, that was great. So for me to come out in this form, this is the first time I've done this type of venue. It's brand new for me. So of course, you may not think so, but nervous is totally up in this place. But yes.
Well, you know what? This is right on time, because now I want to get to your works. Amazing. I stayed on the phone with you for a while, and you read to me, and it was very thought-provoking. So right now, I'm going to be quiet. And I'm going to turn this stage over to Miss Dorell. You got it.
Thank you so much. First of all, I want to say thank you to AAMLO for even honoring me with the invitation. When I received the letter stating that you guys have viewed my YouTube videos and you found the work that you heard to be encouraging and invited me to partake in this event, I was just like, OMG, that's great, but now I have to talk. So I am really honored and I do appreciate it. To you, Vita, to your staff, I'm really grateful.
Yeah.
And as I'm reading, I'm gonna read my pieces. I will just say that usually when a person hears my pieces, if they're not paying attention, if they're doing other things, they won't have a clue as to what was said. And so you probably just really, when you're listening, and if you have any questions, use the hands up. We're gonna talk, like she said, living room. I am in my living room. And some of you guys are in your living room, raise your hands up and say, hey, I got a question. And after I finish the piece, if we see hands up, we will entertain your questions if you have questions while this is going on. How does that sound to you guys? Can I get a hand clap, something? Let me know you're listening. Thank you so much. All righty. So the first piece that I'm going to read, the name of this piece is called Anointed by God. Rippling beyond speed, eloquently pronounced syllables stream from the riverbanks of her tongue, merged upon an eardrum's rim, interlocking sound and brainwaves seek to interpret spoken words. Pouring rapidly from the nucleus of her soul, immeasurable waves raise to survive. Sound presses on, withdrawing from an eardrum's rim, steadily pushing waves streaming past guarded ear gates. Equipped to sharpen blades, dull swords, immeasurable waves race on to survive. Determined to set forth each given word, she flows by the power of the Holy Spirit, responding to a fierce boldness. Blood clots scatter to avoid spoken words, yet are drawn into a magnetic waterfall, falling quickly falling, trampled by awakened feet. Knowing death and life are in the power of the tongue, words become a current in someone's soul. Sparks take flight from sharpening metal. Seeds or planted souls are harvested, healing, encouragement, faith building, deliverance. Uplifted, motivated, lives are changed. Blood clots still falling downward beneath anxiously awaiting feet. Trampled, deliverance, impact on another life. A symbol of walking in God's call on her life, committed to fulfill his will. Boldly she breaks silence, yielding a submitted channel as eloquently pronounced syllables stream from the riverbank of her tongue, words destined to become a current in someone's soul, press forth from the flowing sounds of a poet. Yielded, she is anointed by God. Unyielded, she is silent.
Woo. Woo.
So that is pretty much, even though the gender is she, the gender is actually human. And the poem is basically stating that when God has given you a call and you're not walking in it and you're silent, someone's suffering. They're not getting what they're supposed to get.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay, hold on 1 second, okay? I need to, 1 second.
I saw the sign language. You know, I read sign language too. Multi-talented. Yeah.
Or it's just like learning slowly. Okay. All right, so the next one we're going to share for today This one is called A Mother's Hands. Orange, jello, lemon bars, fruitcakes, cobblers, a la mode, sweet banana pudding, sweet, sweet from the touch of her hands, hands adept with mastery, mastery from his touch, touching me, simple so it seems, words without words, touch. Her touch cradling tears before they fall, sending warmth to my heart. A baby's cries opens her heart, mother meeting daughter, me, her touch. Hand showering the rules of style to understand self-care, teaching discipline with her hands through my hair. Finished look? Not finished, growing, developing, trusting God. Her hands guide me on my way, schoolbound, mother pulling out character in me, protection. Protection like a blazing fire, holding me in her hands, hand in hand, walking as her hands speak to me, sending warmth past the corridor of my heart, my spirit holding on through mathematics, spelling bees, and history. History, our history, forming through her hands. A daughter's day enriches her heart, mother, daughter, we are for here I am. Here without raising her brow, she touches where hands cannot reach. Love unwinds within my heart. How can I step out into the world? I do feel her presence, perfectly known to me, breathing from the skillful touch of a master potter, a breath of fresh air, mother. Words without words speak to me, sending me into prophecy, a place developed through wisdom, time, and the spirit, giving words that the natural ear cannot perceive. Her hands guiding me to where the natural eyes cannot see, moving me, holding on while this clay stretches upward, up beyond the limits. What limits? Mother always told me, no limits. Stretching, prophecy, her touch. We are for here I am. Work, discovery, love, growing. Fire never satisfied, words calling reminders of her touch. Meeting me, bringing me to see we are for here I am. Extending her reach, the depth of her hand, progeny, they look, touching the window, opening up limits, finding their way, guided by her hands, our hands, singing songs with sweet melodies, words without words. Cradled in her hands, my hands extending towards the heavens, reaching into treasures forever present in my heart. Words without words. Orange jello, lemon bars, fruit cakes, cobblers, a la mode, sweet banana pudding, sweet, sweet from the touch of her hands, her delight, daughter, me, my delight, mother, she. We are, for here I am, and in God, she is always present.
Beautiful. So, what inspired you to write this particular poem?
This particular piece, someone that I met over the telephone, their mom passed. And so I wrote this piece for her and sent it to her to read at the funeral.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so basically it's like moms, if the mom is gone, she's there. She lives within us. And every time we look at our hands, we can feel the touch of everything she touched, everything she taught us. So it's significant. It's like torches, carrying the torch and passing it on. But this torch is one that never leaves because our hands are made up a part of her DNA. So she's always a part of us.
Yes, yes. Brings a lot of memories to me regarding my mom. I was very, very close to my mother. And so when she passed away, of course, there's always going to be that emptiness there. But you're so right. When I reflect on moments I spent with her, the last moments, it was about the touch of her hand, the touch of the side of her face, her touching my face. And to this day, I still remember that. And so when I'm feeling a little melancholy, especially around Mother's Day, I remember those touches. So I thank you for that. It makes me a little emotional, but that's a good thing. But it makes me smile at the same time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So what do we have next? So now, did you write these pieces in 2020? Or some of the pieces that you're reading right now, are these something from your collection from like back in the day, or when you started writing, or what? Or is this, or recently?
The pieces you guys are getting from 2020, 2021. Okay. First one I read though, I believe I wrote that in 2016 or 18. I see.
Oh.
But I brought out my pieces that are 2021 and 2020 for you guys, and a couple of not.
We love it. We love it. Yes. Okay, I'll be quiet.
No, I'm glad you're engaging because everyone else is silent. So.
Oh, wow.
I know why they're silent, because they're like me, they're introverts. That's why all these cameras are black.
Yes, I noticed that. And but you know what? But you see, I see you and you see me, and I see several other people, and and my staff, Marco, and Marco generally, Marco must really be enjoying this as well, because normally, you know, Marco is part of that black stream right there, but I see him. So,
oh, he's listening too. Thank you.
Oh,
Mark.
he's listening. Yes, and my librarian is still here. She's listening too. So everyone else has been gone. We actually closed at 1 o'clock today. We're only open 25% capacity, and our hours are 10 to 1. So they were so nice and wonderful for me. They always have my back, and so they're hanging out with me and you, Miss Dorell.
Well, I do appreciate it, you guys. It's like the reality is sometimes we plan our days, because typically I'm the person that's all like, I still have a minute, I'll leave in a second. Yeah. But today I was just like, I know that I need to be there in a timely fashion. Program starts at 2. I need to check in at 1:30. At 1:30 p.m. I called you guys, and oh my gosh, it has been, it's like everything that could happen to try to prevent this from happening, it definitely occurred today.
It definitely did, but you know the upside of this? We got it going on.
We
right now.
We beat it.
Yes.
So the next one I'm going to read, it goes, you know, this is AAMLO, is African American Museum, and a lot of the works of people that have trailblazers before us, their work is archived there for us to be able to partake in, and is memorialized there for us. So this particular piece, it's called Back Doors. And it is—
I do have a quick question.
Oh, yes.
Well, I've been wondering this, and you know, it keeps occurring, so I guess I'll go ahead and ask. Was there a specific point where you realized your talent, or is this all new, or has it been growing within you?
Oh, okay, that's an excellent question. Thank you so much for asking. Poetry is a life within me. So it's always been with me. Now, do I ignore the life within me sometimes? Yes, because I don't like to talk, even though I like to talk, if you get what I mean. So,
once you get started, right?
Right.
Exactly. So no, I've always written. I've always written. High school, elementary, writing is a part of me. So the pieces that you hear, I did not come and say, oh, let me write a piece. The piece flows through me and I go, oh, okay, let me write you down. And then as I'm writing the piece and I look at it, I know when it's complete because within me, I will have discontent. Everybody's like, oh no, no, it's like, oh no, you're not done. You need to, and then I'm flowing with it. So it's really a spiritual steady flow that's going on, and I do not take credit for it actually. So it's definitely a gift that was given me that works through me.
And a blessing.
And a blessing, yes. I agree, blessing.
Yes.
Doris, that's my sister Darlene.
Oh, hi,
so I guess that makes us all cousins. And then my brother Virgil and his wife are on too. So.
Okay.
And
oh yeah, you did, Virgil.
That's my cousin Nell and my cousin that I just met, Darlene, and my cousin I met a while ago, Virgil.
But this is beautiful. We're loving it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And where are you? Are you in California?
I'm in San Antonio, Texas.
Oh, wonderful.
I grew up in Los Angeles. I was born in Oakland, but I've been in San Antonio since 1991.
Oh, that is amazing. So you should
I
have
was born at Highland Hospital. Woo -woo.
Yes, really. So you have a lot of Oakland history. So I probably need to talk to you after this.
Well, we left there when I was 8, so
yeah, that's okay.
But I have a lot of cousins there.
Wonderful. Well, we appreciate you being a part of this event today.
I'm so thankful for being invited.
Yes.
I just wanted to, hi, Dorell. This is your Southern California family. We are so proud of you, and you are talented, and you are not an introvert.
I totally agree.
I really am. It's just that other part that's 100% too won't let that other part live that way. Thank you so much, Virgil. It's so good to see you here. Oh my gosh. While we're name calling, I know one of my nieces, I saw her name Erica was here, and a cousin Patrice, and a cousin Sylvia, and also one of my brothers, Dorell. And so thank you guys all for being here. And
you are more than welcome. I would not miss this. But one thing I just found out, I didn't know you were into the Marvel comics.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, are you watching Winter Soldier? I digress.
Listen, I'm not, but your nephew-in-law is. Chris is every Friday, but I'm not. I think you said yesterday was the last episode, so that's a conversation for a different day.
Okay, you guys, so the piece I'm going to read now is called Back Doors. So
one of my favorite.
Oh, okay, excellent.
Yeah.
My journey started out like all other sapiens. There was no Big Bang, no evolution, a natural beginning. Me with nearly 150 million others launched into a race that appeared impossible to win. Instinctively, knowing that it was nearly a week's journey, we swam. Fulfilling prophecy, I passed through the matrix. Pulse rate, 140 beats per minute, breathing 60 breaths per minute. My family celebrated the birth of a man-child. The discharge paperwork did not include educational handouts describing world systems that were already in place, built with intent to stunt my growth, asphyxiate my ideas, steal my dreams, destroy my hope, and undermine my desire to be who I was born to be, simply because I was born with a birthmark that could not be removed with lemon juice or laser therapy. The birthmark, a concept. My skin, black. White paper, black lines, boundaries to keep me on a straight line. As I feel that space spray painted with white concealing the black door entry. On the playground, there was only one door. Somehow, as my words, no, their words, filled the space with ink, black ink. Every door, no matter which way I entered, I found myself in the back, looking from the distance of my front row seat, a seat in a classroom of life, subjected to an academic system that downplayed the value of education, not overtly, deceptively, silently, while withholding grade appropriate resources, lessons and tools to prepare me for life post-high school. Over 30 years after Proposition 37 paved the way for funding public education, our textbooks have remained dilapidated. Textbooks with torn pages, pink and yellow highlights. No iPads, no laptops, no technology. Subjected to a subpar education, while the educator conveyed deep understanding of how to help me, us, pass through high school. The bell curve. We were thankful for caring teachers, void of knowledge. Knowledge that the bell curve is a systematic quantification of intellect that deems me, a Black man, to be intellectually inferior with the lowest level of intelligence in matters of reasoning and comprehension. Substandard education passed down from generation to generation, year to year. No swim classes, forensic science or debate teams, no engineering, medical sciences or community service or global perspectives, just jail sentences for Black mothers trying to lift up their sons or daughters through the door that excels in educational training. Tanya McDowell, Connecticut. Kelly Williams Bolar, Ohio. Without saying that I was inferior, lessons came from history books spray painted white, omitting lessons about Black innovators that pushed past the gravitational pull, calling Blacks into an abyss filled with lost dreams, belonging to millions that stayed within boundaries, seated at the back door. Years of lessons that omitted names of pioneers that created their own front doors to give rise to change inside of America. Benjamin Banneker, a mathematician, astronomer, writer, and publisher of a series of former almanacs, gave America its first clock. Lewis Howard Latimer, an inventor, draftsman, author, poet, and engineer, created a new way to attach carbonized filament to the platinum wires that brought electricity into the bulb from the base. Improvement for the electric lamp. Alexander Miles, an inventor, a businessman, was awarded a patent for elevator doors that automatically opened and closed. George T. Sampson gave America the first automatic clothes dryer and improved travel in the snow with his sled propeller. Garrett Augustus Morgan Sr., an inventor and businessman who patented the 3-light traffic signal, a smoke hood, also known as the first modern gas mask, and a complete line of hair care products. Alice H. Parker, an inventor who patented a central heating system that supplied heat for homes and entire buildings. Her invention was used by scientists to create forced convection wall heaters. Richard Spikes, an inventor, barber, mechanic, and saloon keeper, whose inventions included the beer tapper, automobile directional turn signals, the automatic gear shift, a brake safety system, and a horizontally swinging barber's chair. Marie Van Britten Brown, a nurse and an inventor, who patented the first home security surveillance device in which users could see who was at their door and could open the door remotely for welcome visitors. The school system, systematically substantiating unequal education, not by disallowing attendance or carrying out punishments of beatings or death for the Black men found reading, no, by endorsing theories of Darwinism, evidence through actions that reveal the value of the system. Each time a Black man raises up his high school diploma and walks through the front door with the key to only the back door, he is celebrated without concern that he is unable to complete a job application, write a business plan, and that he lacks patience to stay in the race while doors are closed in his face. No one tells them that the system is built with expectation that he will walk away and take his seat at the back door. As empirical data is generated to further disprove his intelligence quotient, his IQ could be greater than 85, simply based on findings that he was born with a birthmark that could not be removed with lemon juice or laser therapy. His birthmark, a concept, his skin, Black. Unequal education marked as insufficient data. There were no covert reminders that perseverance was ingrained in his DNA. Evidence as he took hold of the prize, life. Silence, smothering the message that his fight is not against himself being his brothers, smothered with power through subliminal messages, commerce. It is systematic, with unspoken rules designed to keep him in line. Lines formed at the corner store, strategically placed for convenience, a drive, a jog, a short walk from home, convenience, the neighborhood liquor store. Stocked with counselors, also known as spirits, to help him ease his burden as he takes his walk through the back door, not realizing his vote does matter. Back doors.
Back door. Back doors with an S.
Yes.
Break it down for us.
Break it down.
Yeah.
So in the school system, there's a great number of young Black men that are leaving school with their high school diplomas that cannot complete a job application. They cannot complete a business plan. They don't even know where to begin. And so they leave with that diploma that is supposed to say that they're ready to enter the world, that they're educated enough to read 12th grade reading material, but their reading level is at 5th grade. They're not preparing them. And so then when you go into the inner city schools, I used to have a friend that he took on a business of helping students after school for studying. And it was such a disheartening thing for him because all of the students that came in that were Latino and Black, their reading level was way below their age group. And then the resources that the school had, they would give them hand-me-downs from other schools, not the current tools that they needed. They weren't giving computers. They weren't giving the things that they need. So you have this guy that, yeah, he's graduated. And as soon as he tries to get a job and they close the door, he doesn't even have the perseverance to know that the system is created to slam the door in his face. One thing that I always take with me is in my studies in school, one of the professors told us, my job is to make this hard for you to get rid of the quitters. When you leave high school and you go up the next associate's degree, bachelor's degree, master's degree, doctorate, the numbers of minority is minuscule. 5 on a hand, if you're lucky, you can count, because they're not, and those that start don't finish because it's so difficult. This is too hard. They don't understand that, no, you persevere, you get the paper. You need the paper. You say what you need to say to get the paper, get your A's, get your B's so you can graduate. Because once you get to bachelor's, if you get less than a B, you fail. So you have to get that 3.0 and up once you get your bachelor's degree. So they're not prepared for the real world. They're not prepared for any of that. But you can find this corner, that corner, north, south, east, and west. There's a liquor store. And the liquor store counselors, liquor is known as spirits. A lot of people don't realize spirits are true. So the spirits that they're taking to numb their sensitivity, to numb their ideas, their dreams, their visions, it's convenient. Let me make them walk there. Let me put the things that they really need to excel far away. But let me put the schools right there. Not the schools, but the liquor stores. So the counselors that they're getting is the bottle, the liquor. I don't know, you guys may know some of the names of the different alcoholic beverages that are prevalent for the high school students, but it's a really sad story for the educators that are coming to see this in the world. And then you can sit back at the table and say, well, why isn't this happening? Why is that happening? Are you going to go to school? No, I'm not going to school. School is not for everybody. So then you're not in position to make change. Some people can make change without going to school, but some people, they made it where if you don't go to school, unless you're an entertainer or an athlete, they're not going to listen to you for you to make change. It's harder. So it's made harder. I've seen the racism in the school systems. I've seen where the teachers give A's to students that did not even turn their work in on time. And then I'm the kind of student, that introvert part, that after class, oh no, you need to talk to me. You need to tell me why you gave me this grade because I know I deserve more. You need to explain that to me because I know this student got this. But if you're not able or willing to speak up for yourself and advocate for yourself, and that's what you learn in school, back doors is just waiting for you. I used to go downtown at the Mission and I did some things down there. I was going down there for years. The number of men, not women, men, the multitude of men, oh my gosh, it's horrible. Somebody left them. They left them. Nobody believed in them and they left them. So back doors is saying, think. You need to finish. You need to finish whatever your 100% is, do your 100 because the world is designed for you to fail. So the back door is failure. And it talks about the millions and the things that are talked about in here, these are factual. So empirical data does state that the Black man, his IQ is less than 85, which means that he is incompetent, that he's not able to reason. People think the bell curve was great. The bell curve was specifically designed for people that they said were not people, Blacks, Darwinism. These are facts. So they didn't do a favor by giving you an A when you should have got a C. Because when you get out of high school and you get into college, your C is not going to get you an A. And then you're going to be discouraged and you're going to leave and you're not going to finish because of the discouragement. And it's heartbreaking. So I know I didn't go over each stanza, but
yeah, but that
got the gist of it.
Yes, yes, you broke it down very well. Marco, I understand we have some questions in the chat.
I'm getting a lot of comments.
A lot of comments? Well, okay. Can you tell us some of the comments?
Let's see here.
And if anyone has questions, if you're on camera, you can actually, raise your hand.
Just saying how brilliant and brilliant, wow, thought-provoking, and thanking her for her pieces.
Great, good.
You're speaking the truth. So those are some of the comments.
Thank you, Marco.
So now, before I let you close us out for this afternoon, I'd just like to thank all of you for your Saturday afternoon participation at the African American Museum and Library. Please keep in mind that this institution is all about African American history and culture. When you're this way in beautiful California, Oakland, California, I'd like to extend a personal invitation to all of you to be my guests at this institution. We are now open at 25%. This is actually our first week of being open, really open, period. And so this is a very special event today because this is our Zoom virtual Soiree AAMLO, an afternoon of the arts on the week of our opening that we have been closed for over a year. So when I invited Mr. Dorell to this event and to this institution, not just because we know each other and we're very good friends, it's because of her talent, it's because of her, as someone said in the chat, her thought-provoking writings that we need, especially at this time. In this real time, she talks about what's happening. So I want to take this time to thank Danielle Woods, my librarian, and Marco Frazier, my library assistant, our technical host. And I definitely want to thank Ms. Dorell and all the participants. Edgar, Trace Mulatto, I don't know whether all of you were still when we presented them. Amazing jazz Latin group, amazing. And I want to thank them. And also Bay Area artist, Akili Simba. And of course, our chief curator. So Mr. Dorell, at all my closing remarks, thanking everyone, I'm saving you for last. I want to thank you for doing this because I try to present Soiree AAMLO at least every other 2-3 months, this portion. And you have definitely made this month, Jazz Awareness Month and Spoken Word Month, a success. You, Tres Mulattos, Akili Simba, I thank all of you. So Mr. Dorell, close it out for me. If there's no questions, then I guess Mr. Dorell, it's on you. Close us out.
Okay, I want to, I'm gonna read you guys one more piece to close us out. And let's see. Let's see. Living life hopeful. Let's see. No one has any questions? Nothing? You guys are cool?
No questions.
Okay.
I don't see, we don't have, what about in the chat, Marco?
I know it's gonna happen. My phone is gonna be blown up. That's where the questions are gonna come in private.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's none in the chat right now.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're communicating with everyone. Also, I want to talk about our reference library. Our reference library has over 16,000 books on African American history and culture. We are a non-circulating library, which means that you cannot check books out at AAMLO. We have a rare book collection. I believe, and Marco, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the oldest book in our rare book collection is 1802. Okay, and it is a journal of a Navy captain. And no, he is not African American. However, he speaks of an African American, he calls the cook. I call him the chef after I read it, because in that journal, as I recollect, he speaks of many incidents on his journey. So the archives department has over 60 collections. Ron Dellon's collection, over 23 years when he was in Congress. Congresswoman Barbara Lee's collection is here. The first African-American school teacher in the Oakland Unified School District, her collection is here. The legendary Maury Turner, creator of the Wee Pals, an integrated comic strip. We have the legendary Motown designer, Henry Delta Williams, with gowns that he has designed and suits he's designed for entertainers like Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, the Jackson Five, Diana Ross, Frida Payne, and many, many more. So when you come and visit us, make sure you say, Vida sent me. Mr. Dorell, close this out.
Before that happens, can I say one thing or a couple of things? I'm sorry. I just wanted to say I really want to visit the library, and I will. And I also had a question about how do we purchase the art that, and I won't try to say his name, but is there a website or something?
What you can do is you can actually connect with us, and we will connect you with the artist. Okay. Dorell, Miss Dorell has the information, and so we can send you, we can either email it or whatever you want, right to his collection, and you'll be able to view more of his collection on his website and also his contact information. So we'll make sure you get that.
Okay, so I do have some shorts. I'm going to read two more, and again, it's of course to provoke thought, but this first one is the title is at the end. I asked for patience, not understanding. I would have to learn how to wait. Growing pains, number 2. I have a series of growing pains, and that's number 2. This piece right here is called Racing. Racing, the implication that I am not the only one on the road. Surging past scenery to get there. Where? To the place that I find your fingers pointing to. Pointing with desire for what your eyes have seen. A vision that passed over my door. There was no blood stain, just a door. Wooden door. Cracked in the left corner, the race. Through the peephole, I saw you pointing at a dream that never called my name. It was your mail. Mail, an invitation for you to travel with faith. You read the word, seeing a vision, an invitation giving you reason. It filled your mind, running over. Just enough details spilled, falling through the opening, through the peephole, welcomed in by me. You, believing in me, believed that I had my own dream. You saw beyond my dress, not able to see emptiness. Beyond my track shoes, my game face, empty. I assumed me to be empty. You saw me as full. I forged the space and called it me, pushing aside me to fill me with your dream, to run a race with you that you never knew that we were in. Every detail romancing my soul to prove to you that you stole you from me. Your dream. Pushing daisies, buzzers sounded off, the race is over. Who's cheering me on? I won the race. I beat you at being you. Convince all who listen that it was always my dream. There was no blood stain on the door, just a wooden door. I failed to pull hard enough to see me inside, waiting for me to see the mail marked with a golden seal, bloodstained, the race. Emptiness fills this arena while laughter drowns out the sound as my dreams rises up on petals of daisies. The race is finished.
A virtual applause.
Thank you, guys. We ended with that one just to say, follow your dreams. That piece is about someone who's trying to be someone else. The daisies are indicative of death. They left this earth being great at being someone they were never called to be. They got applause from people, but inside there was something waiting to take off, to take root. So there is no other you. You cannot be duplicated. There is one you, and you were put here for a purpose. So I applaud whatever your dream is. And I say, walk in your dream, walk in courage, and don't worry about what other people say. People are placed in your path to discourage you because when you do what you're supposed to do, people are healed and life is better. So follow your dreams. Thank you for listening to me today. You can go to Dorell LaMon Poetry, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram to read any of my works. Thank you, guys. Thank you, AAMLO. Thank you, Vita.
Oh, you're welcome. This is just fantastic. You know, you really made my Saturday. Yes, I want to. Yes. Marco, just, okay. So it looks like there's someone who's trying to connect with us. They had a question. So, you know, this technology, they're trying to, they said they've been trying to get their question out and they haven't been able to get through. I'm saying that you should put it in the chat. Maybe we'll be able to see it. There are 21 comments and questions in the, looks like in the chat. So, Marco? Sorry, let me check.
While they're doing that, Darlene Jones, Erica Cooper Robinson, Virgil, Gaynell, Claudia, Patrice, Ariana, Sylvia, DW, Daryl, Sylvia, and that's who I see. I really do appreciate you guys. I do. So I send hugs, and I thank you so much for this part of your Saturday to devote it to AAMLO's program. And I just want you to know I send love, I send hugs, and I thank you so much for spending this day with us.
It was beautiful. Thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Awesome work.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Okay, I got one last announcement. I just got word. Yes, if you want to support this institution, we have the Friends and Stewards of the African American Museum and Library, and we'd be more than happy to hook that up with you. Marco's gonna put their information in the chat, and we will be honored for you to join us. You don't have to be in California. You can be anywhere in this beautiful world with this beautiful technology. We can go places we've never been before. So please let us know if you're interested in being a member to support this institution. The Friends and Stewards are our supporters here. They've done many events, collaborated with us on events, and they've done some beautiful events on their own. So I thank you, and I want to personally thank them as well. To all their support is ongoing. So I know we're a little pressed for time. I know I went a little bit over, so thank you everyone who's a part of this event today. I did go a little bit over, but I think, well, I know it was very well warranted to do that. So I'm happy. You made my Saturday. Thank you so much, Ms. Dorell. Thank you everybody for chiming in, spending your afternoon with Ms. Dorell.
Thank you. This is Claudia.
Oh, there's Claudia. Oh, there's Claudia.
I've been here the whole time. And
Have you? Really?
Yes.
Claudia is our president of the Friends and Stewards. So I'm glad to see you, Claudia. Claudia, you want to say a couple of things here since I see you now?
Since you see me now.
I
wow.
didn't know you were on, yeah.
Today has been a really amazing day, amazing program. Earlier today, the Friends and Stewards of AAMLO, we had a Earth Day spring celebration, gardening, doll making, and yoga and meditation from 11 to 1. Had a little break, then I came here for this program, and I'm so glad that I stayed on this Zoom event. You are one amazing wordsmith. I mean, I love the words resonate with me, especially, as Vita mentioned, back doors.
Yes.
You have so much information in there, that piece, factual. And I think more young folks need to hear that. Us old folks too. So that we can speak those words of truth to the young, you know, make those connections. And I appreciate you for that. And I'm looking forward to the moment when we can be together in person and you come again to deliver your message of hope. You know, there's a lot of love and a lot of thought in what has been given to you as you speak and say you are blessed and this is your gift You're not holding it in, you're giving it back to us. So I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you so much.
And I'm so glad you brought that up, Claudia. You know, great minds think alike. Well, when I talked to Mr. Dorell to get her to do this, you know, of course, she very seldom says no to me, but she was a little hesitant on this. But when I listened to her works, I was totally like you, Claudia. This is what, and I told her the same thing you just said. We need to make sure that our youth hear this. And so I asked her, would she think about when we do open up, if we would bring her here? So Claudia, thank you. You are helping me to convince her to come here and in person, because she is not an extrovert. She is definitely an introvert, but you would never know it, would you?
Well, I'm the same way. You know that too, right?
Well, yeah, but look at you now. So
thank you for allowing me the time to speak. I thank you. And I just want to say, everyone have a beautiful day, and God is good.
God is good.
I do just want to ask two questions. One, did the person, whoever had a question, did you guys ever get it?
No.
The question? Oh, okay. And then also, is this recorded to where they can pull it up later and listen to it?
Yes, yes, most definitely.
Okay.
Yes, and it's going to be on our website, and I'm going to talk to Claudia, because a lot of my Meet the Authors and my Soiree AAMLO that I do is going to be a part of the Friends and Stewards website as well. So we want to share those links. People will be able to view this event at their leisure. Also, keep in mind what is so important about presenting here at the African American Museum and Library. Because we're a research institution, this event goes into our archives. It's not just for the real time, it's for generations to come. So when all of us have moved on, this will always live. And people will be able to go to our collection, and most of our collection has been digitalized. And this collection the entire collection eventually will be totally digitalized. So your works and this entire event, people will be able to view it generations to come.
I am honored to be, again,
you're part of the history.
I talked about crying when I got the letter, the invitation, because we're supposed to be ending this program, but
yeah, I know.
But I can say that as I talk about being yourself and doing what you have been given to do, my writing style throughout my time, I've been part of different poetry ministries and different things, and people were always trying to get me to change it. It's to this, it's to that. And they were always trying to get me to be like them. But because I knew who it came from, and I'm not a follower, I did not. But had I been a follower, you wouldn't have heard anything that you heard today. I can guarantee you that. So I'm an advocate for people being who it is that they are here to be, and not trying to duplicate another human being, because I believe every human being has great value to give to other humans. Human beings, I'll say it like that, because there's so much hate in the world. But I believe if you delve into the love part of self, there's something to help another person. And it only comes from that which you were giving that nobody else can do. So I am honored. I am greatly honored. I say that again and again, to be put in a place where trailblazers, people that I will look up to, and then you guys to archive me with them, it is more than an honor. So thank you so much. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Vida.
And I'm so glad to meet some of your family. And it's always glad to see my girl, Claudia, president of the Friends and Stewards, on there. We don't get to see each other since the pandemic, only on Zoom meetings. So for her to be on this, I'm glad to see her, to be a part of this, because she knows how hard it is to do what we do here at the African American Museum and Library. That's why the Friends and Stewards are so important to this institution. So I guess we all could just keep on talking, but I know it's probably going on 5 o'clock, and I think I'm supposed to be closing up this institution. But thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for a beautiful, wonderful day. And let's do it again. Okay? Let's do it again, because you're not going to stop writing, and I'm not going to stop giving programs.
Well, all of the support I got, I am encouraged, and I will do it again. Yeah. I'll go through what I go through before I get there, but
you really did excellent for an introvert. My goodness. And Claudia's right. You remind me a lot of her when I first met her. But you know what? You should know, this is a sidebar. Hanging out with me, you should know, Mr. Dorell. Claudia knows what I'm saying too. So you guys, thank you so much. Everybody.